Hello, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. It's Pendulum Friday time. Thank you very, very much for being here. Just a couple quick things. So, one, a big thank you to Kathy, who was here on yesterday's video from Professional Aquarian. She did an amazing job, kind of getting everybody on the same track and understanding astrologically sort of what's going on. If you are one of those people maybe that pops in for Pendulum Friday but doesn't sort of check out some of the other videos, please feel free to go back to Fridays or Thursdays because it's really helpful and very, very informative. All right. Secondly, I'm tired. Okay. I spent the day in the hospital with Vanessa. Don't panic. She's fine. It was scheduled like outpatient day surgery. She's fine. She's home. She's eating pizza. She's good. But I'm pooped because I'm, not no spring chicken anymore. So, just please cut me some slack if I kind of mess up names and say stuff funny because I can just feel my energy draining. There's been a lot of videos that I put out in the last couple of weeks. And don't be surprised if next week I might, hopefully I will get back onto my regular schedule unless something blows up again. But we'll see. All right, here we go. The first one is, I hope I'm saying this right, Calvarisi, maybe. First name is Trish. Will she win in the 4th District in November in Colorado? So I had to actually look her up because I didn't know who she was simply by the last name. She apparently is the one that's actually running against Bobert. So this is going to be an interesting question because there has been such a seismic shift in the last 5 days that things that were are not. I mean, I think there's, I just saw some stats before I started to do this about the increase in I guess the polling numbers or the interest in swing states, and it was, and I'm going to screw this up, blacks, I think Hispanics for sure. I can't remember what the third category is. I apologize. They were up like 20 and 30 and 35%. Those are amazing, amazing numbers. So this question should be interesting to answer. And before I do, let me just profoundly apologize. In one of my last videos when I was talking about Vice President Harris, I said that she would be the first Black president, and I omitted the word female. So I got messages saying, that Obama was the first Black, president. Yes. So I apologize, but again, cut me some slack. All right. So will this Krish Calvarisi guy, hope they know what I'm talking about, win the 4th District in November in Colorado? That's a pretty darn strong yes. So as of right now, the energies are looking, quite promising. All right. You have to remember the pendulum answers questions by and large, but kind of based on what's going on in the moment. Osloff is pushing a bipartisan bill to ban stock inside trading by members of Congress called the Ethics Act. It will require all lawmakers, as well as the president and VP, to divest from all covered investments starting in 2027. Will this bill pass? Okay, no. Under a Harris administration, is this very likely to be brought back to the floor? Yes. And does that stand a better chance of passing? Okay, it's a little yes. Right? I mean, I'm sorry, but members of Congress are wealthy people, and they are not going to want to divest themselves of stock. So, It'll be interesting to see how that unfolds. We have a question here about will Palestine's vote outright for the Democratic Party? And there's additional questions. I'm sorry, I'm not going to go there right now. I may look at this next week, but right now, I'm not. Will the 1%er rich and corporations ever have a 15% tax implemented so that US citizens can have a better life? Okay. I'm going to just rephrase that a little bit because it's real specific. Are the very, very wealthy and corporations likely to experience a tax increase over the next few years? Okay, that's a yes. I took away the 15% because it's so specific that, if it was 12% or it was 18%, we were going to get a no answer. So it looks like something's coming. We shall find out. Will Mike Johnson be removed as Speaker of the House before Inauguration Day? Wow, that's like a really strong yes. And that is not, I don't think, the answer that we've gotten the last time or two that we asked. So interesting. Question about if Biden is going to step down. We know that. Oh, no, wait a minute. Will Biden step down from the presidency before the election? I mean, that's just a no, but we'll make sure. No, he has 6 months left in his presidency, and he is going to be very, very busy getting things done. And in fact, for those of you who watched the astrology video yesterday, you'll know that one of the things that Kathy said was, yeah, he's not fading into the word work. He's got stuff to do. He's going to be very, very busy and quite dynamic as he moves forward over the next 6 months. So, no, he's not going to. And honestly, the people who are suggesting he should just look foolish. They really do. So, did Biden make the decision to step down much earlier than the announcement? Okay, that's a no. Let's rephrase a little bit. Was Biden seriously considering stepping down or stepping back from running shortly before the announcement was made? Okay, yes. Now, was the timing calculated? Yes. The guy has been a politician for, 52 years? It's a bit of a no-brainer that he has strategies. I mean, he blindsided the donors, he blindsided the Republicans, and he put Vice President Harris in a position where it set up the potential for what has happened in the last 5 days. Now, I don't think anybody expected it. Let's find out. Was there any expectation among Democrats that the response to a Harris run for president would be as seismic as it has been? Was there any anticipation that it would be as big as it is? Yet, no. I don't think anybody could have expected it to be as big as it is. $200 million apparently has been raised so far. Will we ever have a full list of the donors who were instrumental, in extorting Joe to step down? That's kind of strong language. Will we know who the donors were who pressured him? All right, so no. So it doesn't take much to find out what Congress people did because there were big lists of them. But according to this, we're not going to, we may have suspicions. We know about a few, but we may not know about all of them. Now that Biden is not running for a second term, will the MAGAs stop pursuing Hunter Biden in order to hurt Joe? All right. Well, so this is the thing, right? Hunter Biden has been found guilty of those charges. And that's in California, if I'm not mistaken. You know, I suppose there may be some sort of a softer sentencing as a result, but I don't know energetically that one really impacts the other. I mean, for God's sake, as you know, I do this on Thursday afternoon. So this morning, they were talking about impeaching Kamala Harris, for God's sakes. I mean, these guys are just out of control. And Trump still hasn't quit bitching about Biden. So I don't know if he remembers that he's not running anymore. I swear I don't. Around 2 years ago, Vice President Harris and President Biden were on a talk show, and one of the questions asked was, will they support reparations for Black Americans? And their answers were no. I would like to ask the pendulum, are their answers the same now? Okay, yes. Is that something that may change in a Harris administration? Yes. What I'm being told is that it will be looked at, it will be evaluated, perhaps studied if it hasn't. She's going to need a tremendous amount of support for that, because if she doesn't have a tremendous amount of support for that, it's going to look that she's it's going to look like she's being influenced by her own ethnic makeup. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's fair. I'm just saying it's not like with this election, we're going to banish every Republican off the face of the earth. Hopefully what you Americans will do is minimize their power to a point where they are impotent. Will Liz Cheney make a surprise appearance at the Democratic convention? No. That's a bridge too far for Liz Cheney. I'm unaware that she has endorsed her in any way. I mean, she may be sending out messages that she's excited about the potential, but I don't think she's going to leap. You know, this is the thing about Liz Cheney, is everybody really was impressed with her during the January 6th hearings. But it's very important to remember that she still voted with Trump something like 96 or 7% of the time. She is a very conservative Republican. Where she drew the line was sort of at the illegal behavior. Where she drew the line was when he was trying to sort of destroy the institutions, sort of the power and the strength of the presidency by creating all of this chaos. But she's not like some kind of liberal. She's not. She is a very conservative Republican, and people need to remember that. A lovely woman, I'm sure, did an amazing job at the JSIC convention. That does not mean that her politics have changed. Her politics have stayed the same for her life. Will the DNC's messaging style change and become more aggressive with Kamala as leader of the party? Okay, so for those of you, that's a yes. For those of you who have not yet seen, on Thursday, they dropped, or Kamala Harris dropped the first commercial for her campaign. It's very effective with Beyonce's Freedom in the background. Um, so, yeah, I mean, she's just stronger. I don't know that I love the word aggressive, but I think she's going to be very firm and very solid. And let's face it, what do you have? You have, a prosecutor and a felon. It's just that simple. So Trump's going to continue to scream about that. But when it comes right down to it, that's the truth of it. Will Harris announce her VP pick prior to the convention? Yes. Yes, absolutely. Will Kamala Harris pick Joe Biden as vice president? No. Um, I'm going to ask this just because I know somebody out there is wanting to know. Is Michelle Obama ever going to return to politics in terms of seeking a position or seat? No. She's very, very happy doing whatever it is she's doing now. It wasn't a secret that she spent a lot of time gritting her teeth when Obama was in office. Um, she's not going to bounce back into politics. And frankly, she is so powerful. And don't kid yourself; it's not going to, at some point, not right now, but later on in the campaign, you're going to see her and Barack on the campaign trail for Harris, and she is going to be powerful and motivating. That's her strength. Let's let her do her. Okay. Will Beto O'Rourke be Democratic nominee for vice president? That is a no, and I'll tell you why. Is he's lost too many elections, and yep, it would be amazing if he won one. It would be amazing for Texas, but he doesn't have a great track record right now, and so you don't want to bring that energy into a situation that has so much momentum. Will Gavin Newsom be one of Vice President Harris's VIP picks? Okay, so he is on the short list, if I understand correctly. Okay, so let's do it this way. Is Gavin Newsom going to be who Harris picks as VP? Mm-mm. As of right now, I think you're looking at Mark Kelly and Pete Buttigieg as having the most likely um, to be most likely to be selected. Has um, Kamala Harris selected her VP yet? No, not yet. Somebody else was asking about Brashear, I think it was, who, if I got it right, is the governor of Kentucky. And listen, they're going to be very, very mindful of where people are and kind of how much good they can do where they are. I can't even see them seriously entertaining the idea of pulling a Democratic governor out of a state like Kentucky. They're going to want him there, and they're going to want him supporting, their agendas. And so I just can't see how they would just pull him out. Will Tim Walz of Minnesota, governor, be VP pick? No. Will the VP pick be from one of the swing states? Yes. Um, At this point, are the two top contenders Mark Kelly and Pete Buttigieg? Let's just ask it that way. Yes, that's as far as we can go. She hasn't made a decision. We're not going to know the answer. Free will, we learned a really powerful lesson about how powerful free will is this past Sunday, didn't we all? Ted Lieu and Andrew Yang on her list. No. Does Vice President Harris have to wear a bulletproof vest? When Vice President Harris is in public, is she generally wearing a vest? Yes. I think that's part of the reason, you never ever see that suit jacket getting undone. Ever thought about that? And I have to say, I'm really liking the whole two-piece pantsuit thing in the same color with the coordinating kind of shirt underneath, that whole monochromatic look. It's very cool. It actually, for those of you who are older, will probably remember this because it reminds me kind of mid-late 70s, where there was also that kind of time of sort of women with more tailored suits, although then it was like the jacket, the vest, and the pant. But, all the same color, all monotone. Anyway, just I digress. I would like to ask the pendulum, is there any vice president, is there, I think, any way Vice President Harris can press charges against the media and the like for verbal abuse? No, I think the implication as I asked the question is sort of like, would she if she could? And the answer to that is no. I don't think she is such a public figure. Um, I don't think that that's something that she can do, right? Otherwise, hell, Trump would have been suing 500,000 people by now because they hurt his little feelings because they said he was not a good boy. Will Harris be able to weather the attacks on her race and gender that the right certainly have planned for her? Yes. Now, again, for those of you who saw the astrology video from Thursday, one of the questions I asked was, where is sort of the difficult time so that light workers can, come together and send her energy and light when she most needs it. And it starts at the DNC convention and it goes through into, I think it's the middle of September. Actually going to have to watch that video again and get the date sorted out. So that's when we're going to be getting busy. That's when I'm going to be having some videos, much like we did for Biden in the last election. So we're going to be surrounding her and pumping her full of light. But she's tough. She's not going to, and the problem is these people are so dense, that she's going to, just outmaneuver and outsmart them. And the other thing is too, you know what? I think nowadays, women, those two men, people who are more politically aware than they were even when Hillary Clinton was running, okay? I don't think they're going to put up with it. I think that kind of behavior is going to get called out. I think that, people in the media who say some of the most horrible, degrading, smutty, racist things, they're going to start getting called out. People are going to start saying, that's enough of that. In fact, from what I understand, even House members, apparently Johnson told them the other day to cool it because that doesn't endear any female voters to them. And that's one of the things that Trump needs. And he doesn't have a snowball's hope in hell now of getting them because women are going to, by and large, vote for a woman. Especially the ones who maybe don't know her. And over the next couple of weeks and months are going to actually find out how qualified she is and actually find out how capable and strong she is. So they're not doing themselves any favors at all. Will the Dems under Harris ticket win a majority or win a majority of the swing states? Yes. Do you see Harris as president? Yes. And is she protected? Yes. Um, will she be safe this year and after the election? Yes. Do you think the felon loser is ready to fly away, referring to possibility of him going to Saudi Arabia and not coming back? Man, it's getting pretty tense out there. And again, from what I could understand, from what Kathy said, there's a possibility that either Trump or Vance are not still going to be sort of running or on the ticket or whatever by the end of August, beginning of September. So we are still in crazy, crazy, crazy times. It's not over. And so I guess we shall see. So I never answered the question. Let's kind of pose it this way. The energy has shifted. Is Trump starting to more seriously entertain the idea of leaving the country? Yeah. And I don't believe that that's an answer I have gotten before either, or certainly not that strong. Um, there's a question here about Trump being taken out. I'm not going there. I don't want to go there. I don't like that energy. Does J.D. Vance have any hope at all of having a powerful position in the White House? No. So it doesn't matter if Trump is or isn't around. It doesn't matter where Vance is on the ticket. Republicans are starting to realize that they have made some significant mistakes. It was a mistake with Vance. It was a mistake being so cocky about Project 2025 because it's out there. People are reading it. People are hearing about it. And people are not responding well to it. And now there is a real fight and a real possibility that they're not going to do well in this coming election. Okay. I'm not going to say right now it's going to be like a wipeout. I think it is. But we have to wait and let the energy continue to unfold. And let's not forget, there are always going to be those diehard Trump fans who aren't going to move. They can't be shifted. Okay. And I don't think that if Trump isn't available and on the ticket to vote for, I don't believe that they would turn around and vote for Vance, because I think a lot of them don't like Vance, including probably some of the people that pushed to get Vance on the ticket. Will the investigation into the assassination attempt be completed by Election Day? That's looking like a yes. Will the conviction of Donald Trump in the Manhattan hush money trial be thrown out? No, it will not. I think that some of the charges may be dropped, but I don't think the entire thing is going to be disregarded. No. If Trump is sentenced in that case, will he receive jail time? This is a tiny yes and almost not moving. So when that happens, I tend to think that the answer is not available. The decision has not yet been made. That kind of energy. Was Elon Musk telling the truth when he said he never pledged $45 million to Trump? A month, no less. Was Elon Musk telling the truth? Yes. For those of you who are, again, old enough to remember, when Princess Diana was leaving Prince Charles, there was this rumor that just flew through New York and then right across the US that Diana was looking at purchasing an apartment, a unit in Trump Tower. She never, ever entertained the idea. And at some point, Trump admitted that, well, she might have been thinking of it, she could have. So he does. It's almost like he creates these really attention grabbing statements. I don't know. Maybe does he think that he's going to like pressure somebody into doing what he says they've already done? I'm not sure what goes on there. But those kinds of statements from Trump truly, truly need to be taken with a grain of salt. They really, really do. All right. That's it for today's Pendulum Friday for July 26th. How in hell did we get to the end of July already? Good Lord. All right. It's Friday. It's a weekend. Take care. Decompress. Do something nice for yourself and someone else. And let's just kind of hope we can get to next week without another. But understand, it's not over. Okay. The challenging times, the crazy stuff happening, the sudden shocks and changes, those are still going on for some time yet. So take your vitamins. Until next time, take care and be well. Bye-bye for now.